Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and there's some breaking news which I wasn't actually expecting today, but we've got it nonetheless. The split fixtures have been confirmed for the second part of the Scottish Premiership season. We've found out where Celtic will play, on what dates, at what venues, all the gory details, including the date of that derby fixture, which could be pivotal in crowning the Premiership champions this season. Let's talk all about it. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. It'd be much appreciated. We're trying to get as close to 50,000 subscribers as we can this year. So if you haven't, drop down below, hit those buttons. It'd be much appreciated. Not too long ago, the SPFL released this statement which showed that the split fixtures have been confirmed for the second half, or I say half, the second part, the second portion of the Premiership season, the closing portion of the Premiership season, which will commence on Sunday, April 28th for Celtic, that weekend of the 27th of this month, following the Scottish Cup semi-finals, which will take place this weekend at Hampden Park. So Celtic have their work laid out for them. They know exactly what they need to do. Shall we just cut to the chase and show off the split fixtures for not just Celtic, but let's line them side by side with what Rangers have been given. So on the weekend of the 27th/28th of April, Celtic will head to Dens Park. Yes, I know, touch and go at the minute with that surface, but however, we've been dealt that hand. We'll go there for a 3 o'clock kick-off on Sunday, the 28th of April, following Rangers' early kick-off the same day against St Mirren at St Mirren Park. The following weekend, on the 4th of May, Celtic will play Hearts at Celtic Park in a 3 o'clock kick-off. Thank God, after our struggles at Tynecastle this season. Rangers will then play at 1 o'clock the following day, on the 5th of May, the Sunday, playing Kilmarnock at Ibrox. Following weekend after that, of course, it's the big game. The date has finally been confirmed. Saturday, the 11th of May at 12:30, Celtic will take on Rangers, in which could be the defining game of the season, the game that decides who will be crowned Scottish Premiership champions, of course. Then, midweek fixtures, and not the nicest midweek fixture for Celtic following on from that derby game, as we take on Kilmarnock at Rugby Park, 7:30 on Wednesday the 15th of May. Rangers will play Dundee, not at Dens Park this time, at Ibrox, 7:30 on Tuesday the 14th of May. And then the final weekend of the Scottish Premiership season, the season which will see it all out, the curtain will fall on the Scottish Premiership. Celtic and Rangers kick off at the exact same time. Celtic with the home advantage as we play St Mirren at Celtic Park at 12:30. And Rangers, they'll take on Hearts at Tynecastle on the same day at the same time. Saturday, the 18th of May. 12:30 PM kick-off. That will be it. That will be all she wrote for the Scottish Premiership season. And that there, ladies and gentlemen, is your split fixtures side by side. So all I can ask you right now is, what's your initial thoughts? Incredibly surprised this announcement was made this afternoon. I thought that we were waiting for the game to be played on Wednesday night, tomorrow night, between Dundee and Rangers at Dens Park before this would be announced. So the SPFL have took it upon themselves to decide that nothing drastic will happen in that game to change the course of the plans. I think that what the only scenario that could change anything was if Dundee were to beat Rangers 5-0, they could finish 5th in the league table. I think the SPFL have ultimately decided that that's not going to happen. A bit disrespectful to Dundee, if you ask me, but there was all of that talk about delays to the split fixtures being announced because of that hypothetical situation. I mean, you can't say never, nothing's impossible. But it seems like they're getting things out so arrangements can be made, so televised games can be chosen. It's not been fully announced what games will be on TV. It's only the first couple of match days that have been announced so far. I'll go over that in a moment. But yeah, it's been announced, and I think that we can't really complain. Nobody can really complain. Even the Dundee fans can't really complain. We had to find this out. We had to get plans in motion. And now we have the path in front of us. We've got to talk about the greater expectations surrounding this. What should we expect from Celtic in these games? How difficult are these games? It's got to be a tough run-in. Celtic have been given 3 home games, 3 good home games, I would say. A couple of places you obviously don't want to go in the split. You don't want to go to Ibrox. We couldn't go there anyway. You don't want to go to Tynecastle. We're playing Hearts at Celtic Park. The only one that really worries me is that midweek fixture against Kilmarnock. Of course, we had to be given a midweek fixture against Kilmarnock. So, you know, we're not really in a place either to talk about rotation and protecting players going into that game, because the weekend prior we're playing Rangers at Celtic Park. It's the most important game of the 5. So it's not like we can talk about rotation. But when you look at the fixtures, I'll put them back on screen now. When you look at the fixtures side by side with Rangers, I would much rather our hand of games. I'm not going to lie, because Rangers have got to go to Tynecastle in the last game of the season. They've obviously got to come to Celtic Park, which is not favourable in the slightest compared to playing a derby game in your own stadium. I ultimately just like ours better. We both play away from home on the first match day, so that's a tough one to try and manage. But I'd rather go to Dens Park than go to St Mirren Park, to be quite honest. So I am favouring our fixtures ever so slightly, but the thing is, this is a tough hand of games no matter what way you look at it. For both sides, these 5 games are make or break for Celtic. Should we win all 5 of them, Celtic will be crowned Premiership champions. That's ultimately the best way to look at it. If we win all 5, we don't drop any points, we will win the league. So it is about focus. It's about looking at it a game at a time, and just getting the job done. It's going to be a really tough few weeks between the 28th of April and the 18th of May. A tough 3 or 4 weeks there. But we are a squad made of champions, a squad made of winners. And it's exactly what Brendan Rodgers was brought in to do, was to deal with these big pressure scenarios. So should Rangers win their game against Dundee tomorrow night, that'll be 1 point in it heading into the split. And when we're done and dusted with these Scottish Cup semi-finals at the weekend, there's a 1 point lead to try and protect going into these 5 games. Who's going to slip up first? Will we have to wait till the derby for somebody to slip up first? It's a tense one. So here on screen is the games that have been chosen to be televised so far. As you can see, no game's been chosen yet for the final match day for that weekend, which could be a helicopter Sunday for all we know. No games determined yet for television. I'm assuming that both Celtic versus St Mirren and Hearts versus Rangers will be televised should it be a helicopter Sunday scenario. But leading to that, we'll have the first games both televised, St Mirren versus Rangers and Dundee versus Celtic. Following that, Rangers versus Kilmarnock on the 5th of May will be televised. Following that, we'll have the derby, of course. Rangers versus Dundee on Tuesday, May the 14th, and then Kilmarnock versus Celtic on Wednesday, May 15th. So that's your televised fixtures right there. Of course, Celtic have a couple of 3 o'clock kickoffs at Celtic Park, which is nice. I say a couple, is it one? I think it actually might be. I need to get my graphic back up for my own benefit here. Just the one at Celtic Park. The other is at Dens Park, but both are televised. So yeah, we know four of our games are going to be televised in this run-in. It's just about whether the last one will be, and I'm sure it will. So if you're one of the people who can't get along to the stadium for whatever reason, then don't worry, you should be able to watch all of the action between now and the end of the season to see how we end up. I would say the general reception to this news so far today has been quite positive. I mean, there's not much you can expect. It's 5 games that will be picked to play at random times, but I'm quite happy with how it's lined up. I mean, Rangers going to Tynecastle in the last game of the season should be a hard game, but we know what happens usually between Hearts and Rangers, so I'm not going to make a big deal of it. But it's better to be at home playing, you know, the opposition we've got, St Mirren, rather than going to Tynecastle. I'd hate to be in Tynecastle in the last game of the season if the pressure was on. Absolutely not. No way. No chance. I think that it's turned out quite well, to be quite honest. It's just that midweek fixture against Kelly that's getting to me. We'll obviously need to hope the weather in Dundee stays quite well the week prior to the opening game. Either that, we could end up playing it in Perth, who knows. Hopefully no postponements, hopefully pitch inspections are passed. But everything really is fell into place nicely for Celtic. We have got ourselves into an advantage right now with that win at the weekend and Rangers losing. So hunky-dory, I would say, as it currently stands. It could have been better if we didn't slip up months ago. You know, we could have moved into the split in a very comfortable position. hopefully Rangers fall to the sword either tomorrow night or in that first game that they play away from home as well, because that would be handy. Takes the pressure off a little bit. Right, that's it then for today. Big news, I suppose. It's all about looking at it a game at a time, and we'll be doing every match preview and podcast and match reaction as it comes, without looking too far ahead to that final game of the season, because there's no point in looking at that final game yet. There's no point getting worked up about it, because for all you know, the derby could determine things going other ways, and there's just a lot to look forward to just a bit at a time. That's my main message. If you've enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.